Okay, so I actually have this very unfortunate, sad story that actually has police dash cam footage. Okay, I'm actually going to be linking the video down below because I'm not going to be showing it on here, but I will link it down below. But I will also talk about what was going on in the video. So, first off, I actually want to read this article and then I'm gonna give some tidbits that I seen, or rather, seen and heard from the video itself. Okay, so let's get into it. It says Georgia deputy kills black man freed from prison after exoneration. All right. It says a black man who had been exonerated after serving 16 years for an armed robbery conviction was fatally shot by a Georgia sheriff's deputy during a traffic stop as he was driving to visit his mother in Florida. All right. It says the officer pulled over Leonard Allen Keir, 53 years old, along Interstate 95 in Camden County near the Florida border. An altercation ensued, and the deputy killed Keir, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. The deadly encounter took place about 20 years to the day after Keir was arrested on charges of armed robbery and assault at a Walgreens store in Dania Beach, Florida. A year later, a jury found Keir guilty and he was sentenced to life in prison. But a judge vacated the convictions in 2020 after a review panel exonerated him. And this is where the Innocence Project comes in. So apparently they have one in like different states. This one was the one that was in, I believe it was in Florida. It was Innocence Project of Florida. And they just help essentially get people who were wrongly convicted out. On this current incident, the GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, said the deputy had told Keir that he was under arrest, but Keir failed to comply with the officer's request and assaulted him. Before shooting, the deputy used a taser and a baton in an effort to subdue Keir, the agency said. Paramedics treated Keir, but he later died. Keir was stopped because he was driving at least 90 miles per hour in an area where the speed limit was 70. The New York Times reported, citing a sheriff department spokesperson. The deputy was not identified by the GBI, which has opened an independent investigation. Now, this came out prior to the footage. Okay, so that's what's going on. I already had this prepared prior to the footage. It was unclear whether body cam footage of the incident existed. We already got it. Okay, it's down in the link down below. All right. So it says several high-profile killings of black men during traffic stops in recent years have called attention to the potential for violence when police pull over drivers. Black motorists in the U.S. are 20% more likely to be stopped by police. A study by researchers at New York University and Stanford Open Policing Project found in 2020. The study also found that they were searched 1.5 to 2 times as often as white drivers, but we're less likely to be carrying drugs, guns, or other illegal contraband. Okay. Now, we're going to get into this before we start talking about his exoneration. From this video, from what I saw, so the officer, as he's getting out of his vehicle, he's immediately screaming at the man saying, "Get out." I mean, he's yelling at him, telling him, "Get out." And he already has a taser out and open. What do you, for a traffic stop? Now, granted, they say he was going at least 90 miles an hour. Okay. But still, you're already aggressive. You can't be a cop and just come off like a starving cheetah. You know what I mean? Oh, okay, I'm out for blood. It's like, no, you can't, because your life, you got my life in the balance. All it takes is for you to just get your gun out and shoot and kill me. You know what I mean? So you can't just be coming out aggressive. So that's how I took that at first. But he was screaming, "Get out." Keir comes out. He already had a stun gun out. Why do you already have that out? What made you be like, okay, I gotta, it's equivalent, let me go and take a gun out or something? You know what I mean? What made you be like, okay, let me get my stun gun out? I don't get it. He asked Keir to put his hands on the car, and he ended up putting his hands on the car. Then, I mean, he's yelling at him. He's not talking to him, and he's telling him, he's talking at him. So he's getting extra aggressive with him. And then, so Kier has his hands on the car, and then he's like, put him behind your back. And Kier asks what I thought was a pretty legitimate question. He said, what am I being arrested for? And then he was like, okay, you're going 100 miles an hour, whatever. Now, I want to see that number. Okay, I do want to see that number. Because, people be lying all the time. So I do want to see. And if he's telling the truth, he's telling the truth, whatever. But he came off extremely aggressive. And then he's like, put your hand behind you, put your hands behind your back. Kier, now this is where I'm like, okay. Because Kier did not do it after he asked. Now, in these kind of situations, especially you being a black man, and like I said, 1.2 to 2 times, you know what I mean? Apparently in that county, so this officer says, this is an arrestable offense. Okay? Listening to that, I'm like, okay, well, you would put your hands behind your back and just be like, I got to take this L today. But he didn't do that. And then he just fucking tased him. I was like, oh, okay. So then he goes and tases Kier. And then Kier, I guess it didn't have too much of an effect on him because he charges at him and then he puts him in like a chokehold and all this kind of stuff. And then that's when the officer eventually shoots him. So there are 2 wrongs within this story. Okay. And they may be like, okay, well, obviously, he shouldn't have shot him. Yeah, but you also shouldn't have been resisting the way that you were, in my opinion. Okay, because it was a lot of resisting that was going on. Okay, you were about to, you were choking this dude. Okay, and it's like you could have just put your hands behind your back. Okay, officer, whatever. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this. I know. Yeah, I was going 90 miles an hour. Okay, boom. But you didn't do that. But then, so what he did was not right. All right, I don't agree with that. Especially you being a black man. Okay, and you being a big black man. They don't like that. Okay, so just cooperate. But then the officer was wrong because you're coming up to this dude. You're automatically screaming at him to get out. You got the stun gun already ready. Like you're looking for a problem. And I'm like, okay, now could it be a racial thing? Because one was white, one was black? Maybe. I'm assuming so. This is the South. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, one's white, one's black. Maybe that's what that was. I just don't see what led to this aggression that you out of nowhere. It was just, okay, I'm about to get blood. And it's like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing that for? Why are you doing this? So I thought that was pretty odd. Like, why do you think that's okay to be having this level of aggression? For what? It just didn't make any sense to me why he would do that. And then, you had the whole altercation and everything. I think the police officer, they got him on administrative leave. I think the police officer needs really to be on desk duty. And no amount of training. If you don't know it by now, with everything that's been going on, George Floyd, we got Trayvon Martin, we got Philando Castro, we got all these people. You know what I mean? Sandra Bland. Just so many different people who have died at the hands of cops. Black people who have died at the hands of cops. So it's like you can't be like, oh well, I guess we just need to retrain. Nah, if you don't know by now, you don't know by now. Okay, I think you need to be on desk duty or you don't need your badge at all, because you can't just be coming out with aggression like that. It's like saying, okay, we're on a man hunt. Let's go and get somebody. Let's go and find this person. Let's go and find this person. You see somebody with the crowd. Okay, let's go and just start shooting. No, you don't do that. You isolate them. Oh no, we're not gonna shoot him. Let's try to calm the situation down because he has an AK and he could just kill us all. So let's calm the situation down. It's called negotiating. It's called de-escalation. And this dude was not doing that. He just came out immediately like, okay, I'm out for blood. So I don't know if homeboy was having a bad day, but that's no excuse. You know what I mean? But that's how I feel about that whole situation that happened with the video. But right now I'm going to continue with said article that I have, and this is going to talk about the exoneration in the Florida case that, he served this 16 years for. So it says in December 2019, Cure asked a newly created Broward State Attorney's Office Correction Review Unit to reinvestigate his case based on evidence and questions about how he was identified as a suspect. In 2020, an independent review panel ruled that the case against Cure gave rise to a reasonable doubt as to his culpability and that he is most likely innocent. A judge vacated Cure's convictions and all charges were dropped against him 3 days later, making him the first to be exonerated by Broward's review unit. And I can guarantee you there's a lot more up in there. The Innocence Project of Florida represented Cure during his appeal. It said in a statement that Cure was traveling to see his mother in South Florida when the incident occurred. And then we have a quote. And it says, "We are devastated by the news that our client, Leonard Cure, was tragically shot to death." It said, noting that he had a job, was in the process of buying a home, and aspired to attend college for music production. So this guy seemed like he was... Now, this is just what family is saying, and, the attorneys, this is what they're saying. Okay, and it comes off like, he was just trying to do the right thing or whatever. Now the family was actually saying, the brother and it was somebody else that was in this video, but what they were saying was essentially like he has some kind of like PTSD trauma from being wrongly convicted and serving 16 years for a crime that he did not commit. So they were saying, okay, that's probably why I probably think, oh, this is going to happen again and all this kind of stuff, which I can see that viewpoint. However, I just did not think that it was right to go and do what you did. I mean, you're all that aggression that you had as well. I mean, you assaulted a police officer, but then again, the police officer was coming at you, but then again, they could lie, make some stuff up about you if they want. They could go and say like, oh man, I mean, he did this and I had to do it, I mean, what else was I supposed to do? So, but then we have the footage and it shows that you are not cooperating. It also shows that he needs to get his badge removed, but also shows that you're not cooperating. You know what I mean? So there's that. That's where it gets muddy. You know what I mean? But let me know what you all think about this story. Do you feel like Cure was... I mean, obviously he shouldn't have died over any of this, of course. But do you think that... How do you think this would have been handled differently? How do you think this could have been handled differently? And what do you think needs to be the repercussions for the Officers Act? Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and also leave a comment down below. I would also appreciate it if you could go on ebay.com, simply type in Latrice Limited, click on shops, and then you can support me right over there. I have a wide variety of items over there. I have many of my own personal Latrice Limited items, which has candles, bath bombs, soaps, essential oil blends, lingerie robes. I have a whole bunch of stuff. I even have comic books on there, men's ties, action figures, a whole bunch of other stuff as well. Definitely support me on there. Like I said, do not forget to like and subscribe, and thank you.